Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here. I want to do a quick video on certain situations I've been hearing about the new Batman comic book. And I know I don't do very much on the comic book side, but I might add that in once in a while just to see how people feel about that. But I wanted to talk about certain things that was going on and with this image. Now, this image here is basically um, the end of Batman 50 that happened a while back, and I think mid last year, and it was the it's supposed to be the wedding between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. Now I had a real big hooray about this because I've always liked the Bruce Wayne and Selina dynamic. I never really was behind the Talia and Bruce Wayne because there was just something about Talia. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's very, very beautiful, but she's a very twisted individual. And it finally showed, especially after the situation that happened with Damian. And I really wish that Batman kind of just isolated himself away from Talia, but I think that because he felt such a huge level of love towards her that he can't just get rid of her, and I understand that part. But Selena has always been that consistency with him ever since they first met, and I always thought their relationship was going to blossom into something bigger. I've read a lot of the books where Selena and Bruce got together. They had a family, and Bruce was able to pass off the mantle. That happened in a Batman Superman Elseworlds book. It was a really great book, a Generations book. It was called Batman Superman Generations, and it showed the generational attributes from when Batman first became Batman to, and also Superman when he first debuted, and what happened when they had their families into next generation. Now, the end of this, a lot of people really liked it, and Tom King did a really great job showing the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, and this especially the new Superman. So it was a brand new Batman learning from a new Superman, but this is a Superman that knows Batman very, very well because he's remembering the he's in a way remembering the Bruce Wayne from his old universe. So he knows Bruce Wayne very, very well. He knows him almost inside and out, and he knows what person he is. So I really like the fact of their date night where Bruce and Selena dressed up in their costumes, but you had Selena and Bruce dressed up as Batman and I'm sorry, as Superman and Lois Lane, and Batman and Superman and Lois Lane dressing up as Batman and Catwoman. That was really, really cool. It was actually a really good book. I liked it at the end of it. Then we get to the number 50, and we come to find out that Holly Robinson at the end of this was actually, and that's the woman that's kneeling before Bane in the middle there. That's Holly Robinson. Holly Robinson is supposed to be the Catwoman that happened after Selina Kyle. I believe she quit being Catwoman, or she got killed, or something like that. It's been a while since I've read that book. I'll do a little bit more research. But Selena was not being Catwoman for a while, and then Holly Robinson picked up the mantle. She's not as good as Selena, but she's a capable thief in her own right. But a while back, there was a book during the New 52 where Selena was found out to be the daughter of a crime lord, and she became the new crime boss of Gotham City. And in the wake of all of this, a lot of stuff went bad, and somebody orchestrated the murder. She orchestrated the murder of over 200 people, and to save Catwoman out of it, Holly Robinson took the brunt of the crime and basically got the maximum sentence for each murder. So she's gonna spend the rest of her life in prison with no chance of parole, and also no death sentence. So she wasn't gonna go on death row. So we fast forward into this, that Bruce Wayne pulled a lot of strings to get Holly Robinson out of prison, and which issued a lot of respect between Selena and Bruce, that Bruce was able to do that for her. So we move forward, and now we get to the point where that Holly was talking to Selena, and telling her that do you think that the city will be fine without Batman anymore, and kind of tugging on that one little string that we all know, that can Bruce ever be Batman if he's happy? Because he's always been mired in tragedy. He's always been under the thrall of his responsibility of taking care of the city because of the murder of his parents, and also the responsibility of having all these criminals around. And that Nightwing and Tim and the family that he created to be vigilantes, are they capable of being able to stop these villains, and still be able to ensure that the criminal element in the city will be the crime will be lowered. So that got Catwoman very, very nervous about it. Like, is it right for her to be happy and Bruce to be happy if it means the destruction of Gotham City? So Selina took it on the chin and basically left Bruce at the altar, and left him an apology note, which basically broke Bruce. It broke him, because this was on the set of After the Button situation, where he met his father, the Flashpoint Thomas Wayne, and Thomas Wayne told Bruce, dude, let it go. Let go of your anger. Let go of what happened to us, and go be happy. This mask, this Batman persona, it's gonna destroy you, and it's gonna destroy everything that you care about and everything that you love. Let it go. Go be happy. And it really, really set in motion a lot of the events that's leading up to today. And I think that's what Tom King wanted to do. And I think that he to me, he set in motion the events I knew that had to happen. Bruce had to go through this type of a crucible, because this is something we've never seen in Bruce. We've never seen him meet his father, and his father in continuity, and his father is telling him to let it go. Let go of Batman and let someone else take care of it. Take care. You need to take care of yourself. This mantle is destructive to anybody who has it. So we get Bruce going through a lot of heartache and a lot of destruction. And then there was the confession where he joins up the jury as Bruce Wayne, and to show to the jury that Batman is a fallible person and he's not this omnipotent god that's in the city. And it really, really shows that Bruce is starting to realize that he is Batman needs to change. That Batman needs to change, and now he's going back to his classic, traditional, logical self. He's not going to be ruled by his emotions anymore. He's not going to be angry to the point where he strikes fear in the hearts of criminals, but he's going to be that detective that's still going to strike fear, but he's not going to be ruled so much by his emotions. He's going to be very detached. And that's when I kind of fell off with the comic, and that's me being a little honest. But now I'm reading up, and now it seems that Bane has come back. Bane basically took over Gotham City, and it's called City of Bane. I knew this was going to happen. And this picture was to set it all up, because we had in the picture Joker, we have Riddler, we have Psycho Pirate, and that's on the left side of the screen, and we have Bane in the middle, of course. That's Gotham Girl right next to him. We have the ventriloquist, we have Hugo Strange, and the mysterious thing in the background where we're in a bat suit. We were always wondering, who the heck is that? I think a few comic reviewers were thinking that was going to be Thomas Wayne. That was maybe Thomas Wayne Jr. wearing the Batman suit. No, it actually comes out to be that's Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint. That is the Flashpoint Batman. So I'm going to get into this. I'm going to read up a little bit about this, because I want to know what the heck is going on. This is going to come out to be one of the best Batman stories we've ever going to read, because if they're bringing in the other Thomas Wayne, that's going to be awesome. Batman is now at number 75, because it restarted its counting. So after Batman 1000, they restarted its counting. And now at Batman 75, which is the start of the City of Bane's story, Bane is now taking over Gotham City. He broke out all of Batman's villains, and they're now taking over Gotham City. It's almost like Nightfall all over again. And Batman is out. He's gone. He left the city. He basically realized that he failed so bad that now he can't stop all of this. And he doesn't want to go through another Nightfall. He doesn't want to tire himself out to the point where basically Bane can kill him. And what we notice now is I believe this version of Bane, has no venom. I think that the venom got out of him. I think that Psycho Pirate, he got back with Psycho Pirate. He got Gotham Girl and the ventriloquist, and the ventriloquist probably most likely told him everything. And that's what got him back. And he got himself back off the venom, and he got Holly Robinson and Hugo Strange, because Hugo Strange knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. He knows. Riddler doesn't care who's under the hood, and neither does the Joker. So, um, um, right now at the end of the book, it shows that Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle are back together again, but not in a more relationship way. But they finally reunited after all this time, and now Bruce doesn't know what to do. And I think that they're going to start slow with their relationship again and rebuild and build it back up, because I think that this version of Bruce does not want Selina to break his heart again, and I think Selina doesn't want to do that either. So we're gonna get a lot of relationship between those two, and hopefully it's gonna be nice and slow. And to be perfectly honest, I don't want them together right now. I honestly don't. I want them to build their relationship, and hopefully let's see them grow as people and grow as heroes in their own right. And also, we have a Selena that had her own book, and she had her own little misadventures. So we don't. I personally don't know what she's been through to give her this type of a relationship. Is she going to be still that classic wily, sly thief that Bruce can't truly trust, or will she finally let that guard down, and she'll be that unstoppable force with Bruce to take back the city and see what goes on further? Um, and I know how a lot of people are going to feel. I personally don't want them together right now. I want them to get together later and get Bruce back to becoming the classic traditional Batman that we all know, and rebuild rebuild his city. Um, but I think that at the end of City of Bane, they need to get rid of Bane. And I don't mean kill him. I don't mean kill him. He's a really great villain for Batman. But I think they need to get rid of him. I think, in all honesty, if they really want his character to be very, very well useful, I think that if Tom King is listening to this, if Tom King, I don't think he does, but if anybody could pass this off to Tom King, uh, if his ending is Batman putting him in a magical realm where he can't get out, then that's it. You're not going to see Bane for a long time. That's what I think they should do. I think that Batman should anger Bane so much because he's taking him down. He's taking out everything he does, and he's getting the city riled up against him. And it pisses Bane off so bad that Bane comes after him, and Bruce leads him down this massive cat and mouse game where basically Batman leads him to, I would say, take him to the House of Mystery. And Bane doesn't know nothing about magic. He's never dealt with magic. So when he gets in the House of Mystery, he's thinking, what the heck is going on here? And it makes him angry. He starts destroying everything, but the house is like, whatever. It just comes back. So Bane is sitting there trying to get through all this magical crap, and then he ends up inside of a box that basically he can't get out of. He can't get out of. And he's like, if you could get out of it, I can get out of it. And Batman goes, I can't get out of that thing. I've tried, and I can't. And I know magic. You don't. And Bane can literally, and he goes, you can't do this to me. He goes, yes I can, and yes I will. He goes, you have done to me worse than any other villain, worse than the Joker, worse than Penguin, worse than Two-Face, Riddler, and all the rest of them. And you see Bane just getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And he says that, all I did was I try to help you. I tried to strengthen you so you don't be relying on the venom, that you can actually do it yourself. And look, you did it. And what did you do with it? You came after me. I understood you were going to come after me, but you came after me. You gave me something and you took it away. So I'm going to give you something and I'm going to take it away. I gave you the city for the time being, and now I'm taking everything away from you. And he puts him in a box, a magical box. And you have Zatanna and Dr. Fate. They're saying, are you absolutely sure about this? Because this is bad. This is very, very dangerous. And he goes, Batman just goes, I don't care. I don't want to see him again in my city. You could do whatever you want with him. I don't want to see him in my city. He gets mad. And Zatanna knows that Bruce is livid. He's holding it back. because it's in respect to these two. But he says, I don't want to see this man in my city ever again. Do what you want with him. And he leaves. So you have Bane inside of a magical realm he can't get out of because he doesn't know magic. How's he going to learn magic? He won't be able to learn magic. The realm is inescapable because it was constructed by by Zatanna and Dr. Fate. So there's no way he can get out of there, not without them knowing. So you now have an opportunity to get Bane out of the Batman universe, and then you can easily showcase in a much later book that they call Bruce back and they say, Bruce, we need you to come back here. He goes, okay, what's going on here? They go, we got some news. And he goes, and he literally says, Bane got out. And they're like, yeah, how did you know? He goes, you wouldn't call me all the way down here if it wasn't for Bane. How did he get out? And they go, we don't know. And he goes, okay. And that's how, and Bruce tries to go find out how Bane get out of there. And then you have this whole story about how the hell did Bane get out of that inescapable area without Dr. Fate or Zatanna knowing. So you got a great level of story there, and I feel that getting Bane inside of a magical realm that he can't get out of, you open up a lot more because you can open up that Bane could have figured out magic, or someone in the magical realm said, hey, wait a minute, why are you here? And he gets him out. So that'd be really, really cool. But I think that getting rid of Bane, I don't think that them seal him inside of an Arkham Asylum. No, I wouldn't do that. I don't think of him putting him back on Venom would be a good thing. No, don't do that. I don't think of Batman paralyzing him or anything like that. No, I don't think they should do that. I think that if you really want to do a really good ending to the Batman versus Bane story, and you start something fresh and new with Bane, you have to get rid of him and do something with him that basically puts him in a negative because he doesn't know it. So putting him in a realm where it's magic and the only way to get out is to understand and learn magic and be aptitude in magic, then good luck because Bruce knows magic and he couldn't get out. He understands magic. He learned magic from Zatanna's father, Zatanna. So if he couldn't get out of that place, then there's no way Bane could because Bane doesn't know magic. So I think that's what they would. That's what I would do. But the end of this seems very cool. I really like it that they're doing City of Bane because they've been using Batman as a punching bag for a while because of the whole thing with the Justice League and him now having this massive suit and all this other storylines with Justice League United and with with Perpetua and all this other stories. I personally believe that it's time to get down to a more intimate story with Batman and get him back to classic traditional Batman, and let's get those stories out there and being told because Tom King is doing a phenomenal job. I just haven't been keeping up because of my own personal stuff that's going on. But if I ever can, I will read those comics and sit back and really, really enjoy. I might actually see if I can find some trade paperbacks to read from Batman #1, not from classic volume 1, but Detective Comics #1, but from after the 1000 issue, read that comic and start moving forward to number 50, and then see what Tom King was doing with Batman, and hope that he's gonna do something really, really phenomenal at the end of this City of Bane storyline. You had Scott Snyder and Tom King that did two of the greatest damn Batman stories I've ever read. I really loved them. And I think that Tom King will be a great writer for Batman. He has a good keen mind about doing a good mystery, and him being an ex-CIA analyst is phenomenal. So I think that Tom King's a really great choice, and I'm not gonna get off on the negative with the haters out there that just didn't like the fact that Batman didn't marry Selina Kyle. I think that it was a little too early. I think they were kind of rush jobbing it. But it's not saying that I don't want it. I do want Batman to marry Selina. I do kind of want to see Selina with Bruce for about a couple of years before they break up. And I don't want it to be a breakup. I think that they should amicably separate, but I think that they should separate but still be married on the down low. So you have Selina able to go off and do her own adventures, and Bruce can go off and do his own adventures, and they can actually still meet up and have their amicable marriage, but they're not in the eyes of the people that they're married anymore. So it's one of those things that they're married but they're not married. And the only person that knows this is Superman, because Superman goes, "Dude, are you married to her?" And he goes, and he kind of doesn't say anything, but he goes, "Oh, okay." And he backs off on it because he knows, he's like, that's something he doesn't want to push on Bruce, because he knows that Bruce will just get a little upset and he'll close off. But Diana doesn't know. She doesn't know worth anything. She's like, what the heck is going on? She thinks that Selina screwed around on Bruce, and she goes, I'll take her out. And Bruce goes, no, leave it alone. It's gonna be fine. And Superman says, no, it's gonna be fine. So that's how I would do it. So I would say that they're married, but they're not married. And then later you can do a lot of great stories where, guess what, Selina gets pregnant, but she doesn't know what to do with the child, because then there could be a big gigantic mess over this. And then you can, but that's what I would do, and I'll be really cool to do. And also, I would bring back Tim Drake into the mix, because what happened to Tim Drake? Now, here's one of the things I want to throw out there. And with this whole Bane situation, people got to realize that Bane has probably been doing this, been plotting this ever since I Am Bane. Since he got defeated by Batman in I Am Bane, he's probably been plotting this ever since. Because out of nowhere, you get the whole situation to have with Dick Grayson, where he got shot in the head, and now he doesn't know he doesn't understand where he is and everything else. He has that whole thing with the new Nightwing storybooks. So that could be done by Bane. You could say Bane did that. You could say that. What happened to Tim Drake? What happened to Tim Drake after he left Bruce? We don't know. Bane could have gotten him. So there's a lot of things they could do to really show that Bane has been really, really getting to Bruce. And the fact that Tim is gone now, Tim is disappeared. You don't know what happened to Tim. And everybody knows, if you've been reading this comic, you know that if Bruce finds out that Tim was kidnapped by Bane and possibly put into another hole and mistreated, Bruce will lose it. He will lose it. He lost this boy, and it broke him in half. It broke him in half. Losing Damian pushed him over a massive edge, but losing Tim in a heroic way, after realizing that Tim was going to basically leave the superhero life behind and live his life with Stephanie Brown, with the spoiler. Are you kidding me? Bruce was devastated, but he was happy, but still devastated that Tim left. But he was devastated when he found out that Tim was dead. He was done. And then when he found out that Tim was alive, it brought a renew you back into him. It brought in, like, he's back to being traditional Batman again. Like, I'm not saying Adam West Batman, but more close to that, almost becoming the Dark Knight again. Because he loves Tim. He loves Tim like a son. And that's why I think that people got to realize that, dude, Tim Drake is by far one of the most important Robins to Bruce, because his son gives him a level of immortality, because his son is an extension of himself. But Tim Drake, that was a child he did not want in his life. He did not want Tim Drake in his life, because after Jason Todd, he didn't want him. He didn't want another Robin. He wanted to do it all by himself. But this boy showed so much guile, so much intellect, and so much courage to becoming his Robin that he, when he gave him a shot, he surprised the crap out of him. He surpassed all of his expectations. He was a sponge. He learned everything he could under Bruce. He learned everything he could under Nightwing. He learned everything he could from everybody that Bruce told him, hey, go learn from this person. He sponged it. He took the reins of Teen Titans. He took the reins of most of the Bat family. He took the reins of Wayne Enterprises during the time when Bruce Wayne was dead. So you're telling me this child was the most important person in Bruce Wayne's life, because in my personal opinion, Damian is not Bruce Wayne. He's not. And to make him like Bruce Wayne is a disservice to Damian and a disservice to Bruce. But Tim Drake is the closest to Bruce than any of the other kids, mainly because Tim Drake is to me then my personal opinion, if you ever read up about Tim Drake is what would happen if Bruce Wayne lost his parents, but he was able to get over it and still wanted to be a hero. That's what Tim Drake is. He has the same level of brilliance as Bruce. He has the same keen detective skills as Bruce. He has the same scientific acumen as Bruce. He doesn't have the fighting prowess as Bruce only because he doesn't have the rage, he doesn't have the massive determination, and he doesn't have what Bruce has. That's the reason why Bruce Wayne is Batman. But Tim Drake, out of a lot of it, he's 80% what Bruce Wayne is. And that's why he's so attached to Tim Drake more than in my honest opinion, he's attached to Tim Drake as much as he is to Damian. But Damian is so independent that basically Bruce can let him off on a leash and be perfectly fine as long as the boy doesn't do anything dangerous. But Tim Drake, he is that is Robin to him. That is his Robin. And that's why I love Tim Drake, because he's so underappreciated and people just don't understand him. But where's Tim Drake? And I really hope that Tom King really does something really good with Tim. And I hope that if someone ever does decide to pick this character up, I want them to put him in a what I would like for them to do is I would like for them to do traditional Sherlockian Holmes stories with Tim Drake, and also give him the Red Robin and put him in a city he wants. And not in a bad way. He just doesn't want nothing to do with the Bat family. He wants his own city. He wants to grow on his own. And it sounds a lot like Nightwing. But he doesn't have the animosity towards Bruce at the time. He doesn't. He loves Bruce. He loves Bruce like a father. He appreciates the hell that he gave him the opportunity to be in a hero. He told him, I'm appreciative of everything you've ever given to me, but I need to find my own way. And Bruce backed off on it. He understood it. He didn't want to force him. And that's why I think that they should do that with Tim. They need to put him in his own city, make him his own hero, and grow him. You could have special appearances by Damian sitting there saying, "Hey, why aren't you coming back home?" He goes, "Nope, I already have my own thing." You could build the relationship between Damian and Tim without having Batman over the shoulder, and still grow their relationship. Because even at one point, when Tim died, even Damian felt depressed about it. He's like, his brother is dead. Now, people can say, well, is he his brother? Yes, by the eyes of the law, because after Jack Drake, who's Tim's father, his biological father, died by the hands of Captain Boomerang, Bruce took it under himself to adopt him and make him a legal Wayne. So basically, Tim's name is Timothy. I forgot his middle name, but it's Timothy Drake hyphen Wayne. He doesn't go by Tim Wayne. He goes by Tim Drake. He's keeping his father's name, but under the legal paperwork, his name is Timothy. I forgot his middle name. Drake hyphen Wayne. So if anything ever happens to Bruce, the first person that deals with his whole estate is Alfred. Then it's Dick Grayson. Then it's Tim, and then it's Damian. Now, until Damian becomes 18, he surpasses all of them by the eyes of the law. Only up to Alfred, because Alfred is the legal person that takes care of all of Bruce's stuff if anything ever happens to Bruce. Even Damian can't surpass that, because that's under Bruce's own signature. So basically, anything ever happens to Bruce, it's Alfred that takes care of the whole estate. But Alfred's going to be fair. But after that, it's basically Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is his ward. That's his that's his ward. So anything ever happens to Alfred, Dick Grayson takes care of the whole estate. But now Dick Grayson's not Dick Grayson, so it'll be Tim Drake. But there's no Tim Drake, so it'll be Damian Wayne. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, and more legalities and such like that. But I'm making this a little too long. I'm just hoping that this saga gets really, really good and it ends on a massive note. I hope that Tom King really busts a load. I mean, I'm sorry not to be nasty about it, but I hope that he ends it so poignant that Bane screwed up so bad and he fell into the bad guy mistake, and Bruce completely takes it all from him, and either he gets rid of him, or he defeats him, and Bane just walks away with his tail between his legs. And I don't want the latter. I want the former. I want them to get rid of his character, put his character away for a few years, and then come out with a huge story about what the heck happened to Bane. How the hell did he get out of there? That's impossible. And you have Batman trying to figure out how the heck did he get out of there, and that would be great, because now you got a big gigantic mystery of who did it, how the heck did that happen, and what the heck. So I'm putting this out there, and I hope that you guys watch it, and literally let's talk about it. Let's see how you feel. I don't understand how a lot of people feel about the whole Batman and Catwoman marriage, that it didn't happen. I'm thinking that they're going to slowly make it happen. I think that Bruce does at least deserve to have a marriage, and at least try to have a marriage. But I don't want it to last too long, because the best thing about Batman comics is you need his villains to push him emotionally. And if you gotta put Catwoman in as the damsel in distress in almost every single notion, you're undercutting her character. And you don't want to do that to Selina. That's not Selina's character. Selina cannot be a damsel in distress. So I personally believe that. Sorry, I personally believe that the best way to do it is you separate them, but they're not separated. They're not legally separated from their marriage. That basically Bruce and Selina decides, let's just separate. I go this way, you go that way, and once in a while we'll meet up and we'll connoil. And he kind of smiles a little bit out of the side of his mouth. He gets that side grin that we all know Batman does. And she kisses him on the cheek, and she disappears. So when I would personally say that when Batman turns around and tries to walk away, and he realizes he wants to say something, she's already gone. And he kind of goes, huh. I wonder who. She goes, I taught her well. And he walks off. You're like, wow. That would be great. Like, he taught her how to disappear out of nowhere. So that'd be really cool. And then they can, you can have certain stories that she comes back and helps, and that'd be great. But I don't want them to be together. I want them to be together, but they have their own stories and their own little situations, and they come to meet up certain times in the comics, and also to reconnoiter. They can actually, have their marital status, but they're not together in the eyes of the public. So the public thinks that Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle are divorced, but they're not divorced, because Bruce gave her a lot of money and the connections to the Batcave and all the stuff that she ever needs, if she needs it. The only thing he asked her to do is don't steal. If you're gonna steal, don't use Wayne Tech. And she goes, okay. And she doesn't use Wayne Tech, because she knows that it's gonna run right back to Bruce, and it's gonna cause a lot of problems. So she doesn't do it. But when she tries to help people and everything else, she uses the Wayne Tech. So you have her with her same suit, but she has new little gadgets of her own. She calls up Lucius, and Lucius knows they're separated, but they're still married. He knows everything. So if anything ever happens, she can actually get new tools and trades, and he goes, okay. And he sends it to her because he knows that she's not going to misuse it. You have great stories with her. But I don't want them together I don't want them together after a couple of years. I want them to be together for a couple of years. You have some great stories, some great everything. It kind of pushes their relationship in certain ways. It tugs their relationship in various things, but you don't completely have them together all the time. But that's what I think. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Let's talk about it. Let's see how you guys feel. I definitely want to talk about this. I think that this is gonna be great. Bane's back, and we're gonna have a city basically run by the criminals once again, and we're gonna have Batman having to go back and then relearn from the beginning how he could be able to take down Bane and take down all these criminals without going through another Nightfall. So I hope you guys like it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.